So you're a renter, and all that stuff in your apartment, it's not just stuff. It's your life. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into progressive renters insurance and figure out if it's the right call for protecting everything you own. We'll get into what it covers, the good and the bad, and what to expect if you ever have to use it. Let's just get right to it. That apartment of yours is more than just four walls, right? It's where your favorite chair is, your laptop, all the things that make your space yours. So the real question we're trying to answer here is this. Is Progressive the company you can trust to protect all of it? Okay, so first things first, let's build from the ground up. When you hand over your money every month for a Progressive renter's policy, what are you actually getting? What's inside the box? Well, you'll hear this term thrown around, HO4 policy. It sounds kind of technical, but it's just the industry standard name for renter's insurance. It's not a Progressive thing, it's an everybody thing. And it's basically built to do three main jobs for you. Think of your policy as a three-legged stool. The first leg is personal property. Your furniture, your phone, all your clothes. If there's a fire or a break-in, this is what helps you replace that stuff. The second leg is personal liability, and this one is so important. If your friend comes over and trips, this is what can help cover their medical bills. And a third leg, additional living expenses. If, say, a pipe bursts and you can't live in your apartment for a while, this helps pay for a hotel so you're not left scrambling. Now, that standard policy is great for most things, but what about that expensive engagement ring or your high-end camera gear? That's where these optional add-ons or endorsements come in. You can add extra coverage for specific high-value items, protect yourself from nasty things like a sewer backup, or even add on identity theft protection. All right, now for the part everybody really wants to get to. Let's be real. No company is perfect. So we're going to lay out the trade-offs. What are the big wins and the potential headaches you might find with Progressive? So here's the breakdown. On the pro side, the bundling discounts are a huge deal, especially if you have their car insurance. Their website and app are pretty slick and easy to use. They're flexible with payments, and this is a big one, they offer replacement cost coverage, which means they'll give you enough money to buy a brand new TV, not just what your old one was worth. But on the flip side, your policy might actually be managed by another company, which can get confusing. Customer service reviews are kind of all over the place, and if you have a really complicated claim, it might take a while. And just to hammer that point home, listen to this from consumer advocate Tedri Body. They say the biggest pro, hands down, is the money you can save by bundling. For a lot of people, if you already have Progressive for your car, this is the reason you sign up. It's a powerful incentive. Now, let's unpack that weird underwriter issue, because it's important. So picture this. You go to Progressive's website, you buy a policy. You think you're a Progressive customer. But behind the scenes, they might hand your policy over to a partner company. That means when you actually need them, when you have to file a claim, you could find yourself on the phone with a totally different company you've never even heard of. And that can be, well, a bit of a shock. And speaking of that moment, let's talk about filing a claim. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's the whole reason you have insurance in the first place. So what actually happens when you need to use it? This is the big, scary question, isn't it? The one that keeps you up at night. You pay your bill every single month, but when disaster strikes, are they actually going to come through for you? It's a totally fair question. So here's the deal. Claims don't just get denied for no reason. It usually comes down to a few specific things. Maybe the damage was from a flood, which standard renters policies just don't cover. Or maybe the damage costs less to fix than your deductible. And of course, if you can't prove you owned the stuff, or if you weren't totally honest when you applied, that could cause a denial with any insurer. So how long does it take to get paid? Well, it really depends. If you have a simple theft claim and you've got a police report and all your receipts, things can move pretty fast. We're talking days or weeks. But if your apartment had major fire damage or there's a complicated liability issue, you need to mentally prepare for a process that could stretch into weeks or even months. Okay, let's switch gears and talk money. We need to get to the bottom line. What's this going to cost you, and how hard is it to get out if you decide to leave? All right, let's talk about one of the biggest choices you'll make, your deductible. That's the amount you have to pay yourself before the insurance money starts flowing. Think of it like a seesaw. If you choose a higher deductible, your monthly bill will be lower. If you want a lower deductible, your monthly bill is going to be higher. It's all about finding that sweet spot between what you can afford each month and what you could afford to pay in an emergency. And what if you move, or you just find a better deal somewhere else? The good news is it's super flexible. You can cancel pretty much anytime you want. If you paid for the whole year and you cancel halfway through, they should send you a refund for the 6 months you didn't use. No big deal. So we've covered what's in the policy, how it all works, and what it costs. Which brings us to the final verdict, the most important question of all. Is Progressive the right choice for you? From everything we've looked at, Progressive seems to be a slam dunk for a certain kind of person. If you've already got their auto insurance and you can get that sweet bundling discount, if you're the type of person who's totally fine managing everything through an app, and if your needs are pretty straightforward, then yeah, it's a really strong contender. But on the other hand, you might want to shop around a bit if a couple of things are true for you. If you have, say, a really valuable art collection or a lot of expensive jewelry, you might need more specialized coverage. And if you're someone who really values having a local agent, a person you can call and build a relationship with, Progressive's online first approach might feel a little cold. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. You have the facts now, you know the pros, you know the cons, you know how it all works. The decision is yours. So ask yourself, what do you need to have peace of mind? Is it the lowest possible price, the slickest app, or something else entirely? Only you know what that's worth.